There you go.
Kristen, how was your weekend?
Mine was good. I'm tired too. My husband was actually hunting turkeys for 6 days, so I was
For
single.
6 days?
Yeah, they, male bonding, and they camp and drink beer around a fire and hunt a little turkey. But so yeah, he just got home this afternoon, so I'm ready to share the responsibilities.
Oh, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Hi, Alyssa.
Hey.
How are you? You had a busy weekend.
Yeah, we did. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
How's your half?
It was good. I'm tired.
Hot day for it.
Yeah, it was really hot.
Yeah.
I haven't run in the heat at all yet this season, so that was hard.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I was hot and I was sunburned, like my back got sunburned, and I just haven't been out in it, but
Yeah.
it was a beautiful run.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a beautiful run. Jason's hosting our call tonight.
Awesome. That's why I logged in.
Did you? Yeah.
Got my notebook ready.
I don't know that he'll be telling you anything, Alyssa, that's new to you, but maybe.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm not very good at some of this stuff, so.
I've logged in from no device.
How'd you do that?
I did not log in from that device.
What's your phone on video or something?
Mm-hmm. Weird. Why is it being streamed? Hi.
How's your run today?
It was good.
Good.
It was really good.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Sorry, something goofy's going on with our Zoom.
Yeah, I have to log out. I'm logged in as you, and I tried to do that. So 1 second, I'll log out.
No worries. It's telling me that I need to assign a host. So I'm like, what's going on?
It popped. I checked before, and then this little box came up, and I see your face. I'm like, that's not me. So I'll log out. I'll be back.
Okay. It's all good. How are you doing, Tracy?
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Good.
You had good weather for your run?
It was hot.
Oh,
it was beautiful out. It was beautiful. It wasn't like a hot day, but I mean, it was like 70.
Well, by the time you finished, it was pretty hot.
Yeah, it was pretty hot. Like for not having run in the heat yet this year,
And that is much harder, I think, too.
Yes. It was lovely, but it was definitely warm.
Yeah.
I got a nice sunburn on my back.
Oops.
Yeah, I know.
It would have been much worse if you would have worn that thong.
Right, I know. It does. It looks like a thong mark on my back.
It totally does.
I should have taken it.
I had to look a couple of times. I was like, wow, she's really putting it out there.
I heard it's going to be really hot up north, so I better wear my thong. I was really happy that I went shopping, though, because I brought capris to wear, and it was too hot.
That would have been way too hot, yeah.
So.
Good.
All right. Well, let's see. Who are we? Erin's on. Hi, Erin. Hi, Sherry.
Hello.
And we'll get started.
Yeah.
Does that sound good? Okay. I'm going to record because maybe it is recording already. Oh, great. I'm glad I recorded all that talk about my thong. That's pretty awesome. Okay, well, we'll get the ball rolling. Do we know how to screen share on here?
Yeah, it's up to you.
I've never screen
I don't
shared.
Zoom.
Hold on. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Screen sharing.
Okay, whenever we need to. Okay, so guys, we are going to, it's just going to be kind of a boring Zoom because it's kind of boring information, but it's important information. And some of you guys probably feel really, really confident with the money aspect of this business as far as like, how do I earn money? What are these legs that I have? What should I be doing with my taxes? Because I don't take any money out for my taxes. And some people feel really confident with this part of the business, and a lot of people feel really like uncomfortable or uncertain about it because it is kind of confusing. And so I brought my handsome husband, Jason, Kennedy here to talk to us a little bit about the numbers part because he is better at this part of it than I am. And I defer to him for a lot of questions on it. And some of it, we weren't sure what people's level of comfort was. If you're like a 0, I know nothing, to like a 10, I should be running this call. So it might be review to some of you guys, but we definitely welcome questions. And hopefully you gain something informative from the call.
Hopefully.
So the things we're going to talk about today are, how do I make money with Beachbody? Like, how do I get paid? What are the things that I get paid from? And then what is up with these legs and the PV? And then just a little bit about tracking your expenses and taxes. And we are not accountants, so please don't go to your accountant and tell them, show them this video, okay, if you get audited, but just like general guidelines that you might want to keep in mind, okay? And we are going to attempt to do some screen sharing and kind of take you guys through the back office a little bit, which I've never done, so bear with me. Anything else I'm forgetting?
Yeah, I think that's good for now anyways.
Okay, so you want to take over?
All right. Hi, I haven't met all of you. I'm Jason, Jessica's husband. So nice to meet you and see some of those faces I haven't seen before. So like Jessica said, we'll start with the different ways you can actually earn money. There's the normal, just 25% commission on your retail sales. So if you're selling, a DVD or whatever products, challenge packs, their amounts differ a little bit, but there's usually in the back office a challenge pack guide that shows the commissions per each challenge pack, because sometimes when they go on sale, it'll have a different commission amount than what it normally is. So there's usually a guide in the back office that is somewhere in there, but it's kind of hidden. So that can vary, but obviously there's just the normal commission on sales. Then you have your cycle bonuses, which will vary depending on your rank. $14 per cycle for Emerald, 16 for Ruby, 18 for Diamond. And then you have a fast start bonus for when you sign a new coach. And if they order a challenge pack when they sign up, you get $50.
What if they don't order anything, Jason?
If they don't order anything, then you don't get that $50.
Okay. But consider them an investment in your business, even if they don't order anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this, you can all see these different types in the back office. Hopefully you can see the screen.
Can you guys, well, I don't know. Can you see?
Can you see it?
No.
No.
Okay, go back.
Which one am I going back to?
This guy. Okay. Hold on, guys. We're going to try to screen share. Screen share. There we go. Right here?
Share screen.
Share screen. Oh, we want this one.
Ah, yes.
There you go.
Okay.
So, commissions here. So basically, to see
But first of all, do you guys all know how to get back and see your commissions?
the different types of money you're earning,
Do they know how?
go to your back office and under My Business. You can go under My Commissions, then your weekly commissions. So this will show you the different amounts you earn for each category. So first you have your normal retail, so that's just the regular products you sell. Your subscription commission, that's based off of people under you, your coaches under you, who are subscribing to the club membership. So every quarter you'll get, I think it's like $15 per individual who's a club member. Actually, no. There's the coach commission, I think, for just being a coach. I can't remember which. Anyways, I think for that, it's usually the club membership. You get every quarter a payout for coaches underneath you. So that's what the subscription bonus is. So the team bonus, that's what you get from your cycle bonuses.
Don't click on the matching zone. People
The matching bonuses, you get 10% matching of your coaches, your sponsored downline coaches' cycle bonuses. So if your coach had $14, had one cycle bonus, you'd get $1.40. So that's just extra matching bonuses, and that's, once again, you have to be, I think for that, at least an Emerald or above. And then I mentioned before the Fast Start bonus, that's the one where you have to buy a challenge pack as a startup as a coach. Some of these other ones, they have special showcases that we've never
I don't even know what that is.
And the fast start, that's actually somewhat new. They didn't have that before. I think that's new, like within a year or two
The
ago.
Fast Start Plus bonus. I think that's if you sign up a certain number of coaches in a
5.
short period of time. Yeah. And you get money that way. And it's happened to me a couple times. Nicole, I know it happened to you, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, sweet. How'd this work?
Right.
So I signed up 5 coaches within a 30-day period, and you get $100.
Yep. So it's basically this just, when you go in, you look at your commissions and you click on it, you can see all the different ways that you're getting that paycheck every week, if that makes sense. There's lots of different ways to earn money. It's not all just straight retail. And so it's good to get comfortable with navigating through the back office and looking for things, because sometimes if you just look at the check and you're not really breaking it down, you don't know if they did mess up and you didn't make the fast start bonus when you should have, etc. And just to kind of see where the different areas are in this business that you get paid. And as you can see, the building your team is really beneficial.
Yeah, the team bonus, I mean, that's all cycle bonuses from, downline. So that's,
Yeah.
It shows that's a big part is growing your team. You can grow your paycheck the same way.
Yeah. I mean, commission's important too, but to build a long-term business versus a hobby, you're going to want to build your team. Makes sense? Any questions back here as far as breaking down, like, the different ways you get paid? Don't be shy. Okay. Move on to legs.
We're going to legs now. So let's see here. Go down to. Let's get out here first. Okay.
I think it's easier to show them in the.
I'll get there eventually.
I think it's just easier to show them in the volume so they can see which is stronger. Okay.
So with legs, as you know, well, maybe not. No, there's a strong leg and a weak leg, and that's going to really vary depending where you are in the overall Beachbody family tree. If you're on a big branch, we'll say, and you have a lot of upline or high up people above you, and you're just in a good spot in the business, you might have a lot of volume trickling up. That could definitely help you get a strong leg. But you could also be in a place where you're kind of in the offshoot of a branch off of a branch where you're only making volume off of whatever your team is. And then that way your strong leg and weak leg could be pretty similar. It could switch back and forth. You might not have a clear strong or weak leg. But when it comes to Jessica, she has a very strong left leg, as you can see on her left leg volume is right now it's 8,860, where her right leg is only 4,000. So she has a very definitive left and right leg. So one's obviously strong and one's her obviously weak leg. So when it comes to cycle bonuses, every time she gets 200 on her left leg and 100 on her right leg, she'll get $18 since she's a diamond. If it was emerald, it'd be 14, ruby would be 16. So this is another way you can kind of project what your earnings are going to be for the week based on volume. So if I just took, her right leg and divided by 100, since every 100 ones she'd be getting a cycle bonus because she already has the 200 on her other side. Could take that and times it by 18 to figure out what her cycle bonus earnings would be.
So when I signed up in the business from the very beginning, my right leg or my strong leg and my weak leg were very, very, very obvious, because this big number you're seeing here, Melissa McAllister is on that leg, okay? And so she's my upline's upline. And so everybody she puts on that side ends up on that side under me. So I would have to work very, very hard to ever not have that be my strong leg. But for everybody else, it really depends. You need to get comfortable looking at the numbers on your volume and seeing if you have a side that's definitely stronger than the other, because some people do and some people don't.
So good way to figure out if you do have a strong or weak leg or what it is. If you go onto your My Business, My Downline, graphic genealogy, that's where you get this nice visual, and you just click on yourself and it'll show you the volume per leg and overall projected volumes and stuff like that. And you can click on anyone in your downline too and see what their numbers are. So that's a good way to kind of check to see what the balance is, or if you want to see how someone in your downline is doing your team to kind of see where they're at if they have questions. That's a good way to kind of check to see, well, that's your strong leg, that's your weak leg. But a lot of times, if you're on a certain leg of your upline, that's probably going to be your strong leg because they're going to have people trickling underneath you. So, and that's the kind of confusing thing with Beachbody too, with the legs, is it's not just people on your team, it's the people above you and above them. They're all getting trickled down and being placed underneath someone else. So that could be underneath you, even though they're not on your team, but that volume still will help you.
In the family tree of life
Yes.
of Beachbody. So one question that a lot of people often, were you going to go there?
No.
You weren't going to go there?
I don't know what you're talking about.
One question a lot of people have is when they're building their business, okay, and they're emerald or they're wanting to be emerald and they have these legs that they're going to establish, but they're not sure what they're going to do with them, or if they have a weak or strong, where do I put my spouse, right? Do I put my spouse on a leg or not? Because it feels really weird that I'm paying this extra coach fee, et cetera, to have my spouse on my team, not to do anything. And people a lot of times don't know where to put them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Jason, what are your thoughts on if you should sign a spouse and where to put them?
Well, it'd be kind of depending, first, why are you putting your spouse on there? Are you doing it for your rank to get emerald, or are you doing it just so there's more earning potential? So there's kind of your why. Why are you putting them on your leg? And there's two main schools of thought for where you should place your spouse. If you have a very clear, strong leg, put them there for higher earning potentials, because once again, like we mentioned before, there's going to be coaches trickling underneath them, and all that volume is going to help them have a higher earning potential. But if you want to help yourself have more earning potential, you could put them on your weak leg, and anything they do or buy is going to help trickle up to you on your weak leg. So you're going to add more volume on your weak leg that way. So that'll help you have more earning potential. But if you put them on a strong leg, yes, they'll help you, but it'd be more geared for them to have higher earning potentials.
Yep. So really, I've heard top coaches talk about it either way. Some top coaches swear that you should put your spouse in that very first spot. I didn't want you to close out of the screen share yet, so I have to bring it up. The very, very first spot underneath you on your strong side. A lot of people say that's the best place, right here where Tracy Stagg is, okay? A lot of people say that's the very, very best spot to have your spouse. And other people would say, no, the other side, because you can push more volume through their account. The way we did it was we did the spouse on the strong side because I wanted those double paychecks to be high, but you really could go either way. But either way, I would definitely consider, if you sign your spouse because you want this to be a long-term job, or you really want them an established position in your company, to sign them sooner than later so that they've got more volume underneath them in your downline. Does that make sense? So
the higher up in the tree you can get them, the better that their volume will be then too.
Yeah. And for us, it's really nice because we collect 2 paychecks every week, through spouse business and my business. But in the beginning, it felt kind of funny. So really, I would advise either way. It kind of depends on your goals. And I would be more than happy to talk with any of you guys about that. But typically, I put the spouse on the strongest side just because I feel like it's the best place for them to earn money. In essence, for you to earn money. But you could do it the other way, and that would be okay.
And you want to kind of consider if you have a very distinct strong leg, then you might want to do. But if you don't have a clear strong leg, then it's kind of whatever you want to make it into. Because you are going to be placed sometimes where you're out in no man's land, and it's whatever you make your team into. So some people have the benefit of getting placed really well in the business. Some get placed, unfortunately, where they're not a bunch of people above them. So it's kind of what they make it out for themselves. They don't get that extra help, so to speak.
Yeah. Will you take them to the
Justin?
Yeah.
So for one thing, that when I added Jordan, and then Jordan and my sister were my first 2 coaches. So when I started, there was no obvious strong leg at all.
Yes.
So when you're explaining that, Jordan is now on my strong leg, but I didn't mean to put him there initially.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell because I'm not on the side of, and I think my coaches too, like we're not on the side of Melissa McAllister's leg. We're on the opposite.
You're on the opposite.
So we don't have that definite volume coming through on one side. So it's hard to tell. So it's kind of just a gamble, I guess, right?
Yep. It is a gamble. It's totally a gamble. Like in general, it's really hard to tell sometimes which is going to be yours if you don't have a distinctively strong or weak side. But the best thing you can do then is just to get your spouse that top business in your company, its top spot in your company. And either way, it's going to work to your benefit probably in the end. Go back to like the home screen really quick for that's a really good point, Nicole. So, and put down here to the volume details.
I just have a quick question because I'm totally a newbie.
Please do.
So you actually place your coaches in one leg or another?
Yes.
You decide.
Yes.
You can pick anywhere in your downline where you want to place a coach. Like in the graphic genealogy, is one spot you can do it. Well, there's the preferred placement tab.
Yeah.
Under my business. And that'll just ask you.
What is like the science behind it? Are you, obviously you're going to get a feel for how that, you think that coach is going to do. So
typically,
is that how you're placing them?
Okay. There's a couple different, do you mind if I talk about it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a really, really good question, Kristen. There's a couple different thoughts on that. So go back really quick. You set your preferred placement. So right now I have my preferred placement to be under a very specific coach on a very specific time spot in my business because I want to help that particular coach with her volume. Okay. So there's lots of different ways you can do it, and you can set your preferred placement. That's not where I want you to go. Just back to the volume details really quick. Okay.
Maybe there or maybe on the first page.
Where we were. Sorry, hold on. Go down. So, okay. So right here's my volume details. I promise this is going somewhere. So click on that really quick. So because my strong side here is so strong and my weak side has got to work to catch up with it. If I want to maximize my cycle bonuses, Kristen, I'm going to want to build up that weak side as much as possible. Does that make sense? So at this point in my business, because I'm a solid, my rank is really solid, for the most part, I'm going to keep stacking. My preferred placement is going to be to keep stacking that weak side to keep getting more and more volume so I can maximize cycle bonuses more often. Are you guys following me on that? Okay. Because every time I get a cycle bonus, I make $18. Well, that can happen again and again and again and again and again and again and again in a day even. Okay. So I want to keep stacking that. Now, ideally, I would want to stack that weaker side with people who I think are really going to be amazing in the business and they're going to bring in a lot of volume that are really in it to work. Okay. So if you've got a distinct strong and weak side, typically, if you have got someone who's just chomping at the bit to work and you know that they're like a fitness instructor and have 1,001 fit friends and you know that they're going to do huge things with this business and they're just excited about it, you're probably going to want to put them on your weaker side if you have a weak side because the volume they're going to push through your business is going to be very helpful to you. Whereas if you have your grandma who just wants to drink Shakeology as a discount, you probably want to put her on your stronger side because she's only going to be pushing 90 PV through every month. Does that make sense? But here's the trick. Here's the problem. You can't always predict who's going to be amazing and who's not, okay? Because sometimes your grandma might be the next 15-star coach and your fitness friend might hate it and never do anything with it and quit, okay? So you can't always predict. Sometimes it's just a crapshoot. And so that's part of the issue. And the other issue is that everybody's got to go somewhere. And when you're trying to get to your rank, like when you're trying to become diamond, which should be everybody's ultimate goal if you're planning to work the business, you need 4 active coaches on each leg. So you can't just stack one leg. You have to have it equally distributed. And so that's how sometimes someone might end up just like when I signed Nicole. I love Nicole. She's one of my very, very, very best friends. I just put her somewhere because I needed her somewhere, you know, and I didn't really know enough about the business. If I were to redo it now, yes, her volume's great for me, but I would love for her to be in a stronger position in my company. Does that make sense? So sometimes it's just a crapshoot, really. But rule of thumb is you got to kind of build equally to rank advance, but you want to stack your weak leg with heavy hitters if you can. But you just don't know because sometimes people surprise you. That was a really long-winded explanation. Does that make sense though? Okay. So yeah, get to know, guys, if you don't ever click on your volume details, especially people who are emerald or above, you know, like start looking because that's how you predict your paychecks. That's how you know like kind of what's going on. That's how you know like, hey, my weak leg is this and this weak leg needs more coaches, etc.
So yeah, in your volume details, your total PV, that's going to be your retail sales, or like HD orders. That's going to be kind of your direct sales. The LV, the left volume, that's going to be your downline. So it's not going to be just personal responsibility, everyone on that leg. So you're going to see names of people who are like, who the heck is that person? But their volume helps you. You're on that leg, so that's going to show there. And same with your weak leg. It's going to be people you know. And I'll show you personally sponsored. We'll have personally sponsored or not personally sponsored when you're looking at the columns here.
So this is how, guys, when I do the PV shout outs for you guys, where I'm like, so-and-so got 895 PV. That's how I figure it out as I click on the volume details.
Yep. And it's updated every week, the same day you get your paychecks. So I can always check back here to see how your downline is doing or just to see where things are at.
Yeah. Any questions, guys? That's kind of a lot. The leg part is very, very confusing. It took me a long time to get comfortable with it. I mean, literally like probably just within the last year, if even 6 months, I have felt pretty confident that I understand the legs. It's very confusing.
And there's a lot of different strategies out there. So if you go to YouTube and just type in Beachbody leg placements, there's going to be a whole bunch of different videos on power legs, strong legs, weak legs. Where should I put my spouse here, there? There'll be lots of videos on there if you feel like YouTubing for a while.
And you can hire people too to just look at your legs. There are Beachbody leg lookers. That's what they do. Because there's a science to it. I mean, I definitely understand the generals, but there's a definite science to it as far as, you know, how to place people to make the most money, I guess. But it's overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be strategies to figure out how you can rank advance quicker. There's going to be also strategies where how can I make the most money for myself? So there's lots of different ways to strategize placing people and whatnot. So
right. And rank does not always tie to volume, and it does not always tie to pay. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So questions while we have you guys on here right now, as far as like before we move on to expenses and stuff, because the legs are confusing and I get asked questions all the time. So don't feel shy about asking.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, you said when you set your preferred placement, you can actually have it go under a specific coach or a specific spot. I thought it just always went like down, 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 down.
Nope.
If you go under my business, the graphic genealogy, you can pick up here. There's preferred placement spots. So if I can find a empty spot, like if I wanted to go right here, I could click that and make that my preferred spot.
Okay.
So any of these empty spots you can select to be.
Doesn't have to be an empty spot, does it?
Yes, because there's no one there yet.
Oh, yep.
So you can go down anywhere in your downline, any leg, and pick very specifically where you want that. So if you want to help someone out who is, well, I'm not getting any value, if you want to help, you know, maybe try and keep them on a little bit longer and by adding underneath them, or someone you just want to help out because they're awesome, you know, you can really pick anywhere you want by going into my genealogy.
It's still one leg or the other. Alyssa, but it's very specific within that leg to maybe help someone else's weak leg. Does that make sense?
Kind of. And it doesn't change their rank, does it?
Nope.
Like, it's
Nope.
not their coach, so it wouldn't like
Nope.
make them emerald or anything.
It would just affect the volume that trickles up, so they could get more
Sure.
cycle bonuses as a result. So if we
Okay.
wanted to, I could place people underneath one of your legs since you're in her downline.
Do it. No.
Hint, hint. So yeah, scroll down really quick. So like say I really, really wanted to help yeah, maybe I really love Janice. Well, I do really love Janice, but say Janice is a discount coach of mine and she's fabulous. And she's like, I really, for whatever reason, she's had financial hardships and she really, really wants to make a go of this business. And, I could select my preferred placement to go under Janice there. It doesn't change Janice's rank, but Janice is going to see more PV specifically trickling up through her.
Okay.
So any of these empty spots, that's where you can select your preferred placement, and it'll turn red once it's selected. So the blue ones are just empty spots that will be the next in line to be filled by that person.
I got a question about that too.
Yeah.
Would that only benefit if they're like pretty far down? Like let's say I was on your left leg, like maybe the third one down, and you didn't have too many people under me, that wouldn't matter because you would just keep putting on the left side and that would still help me, right? This is like if someone's kind of buried.
Like you're kind of buried.
Yes. Okay. That's why I was kind of wondering.
Love you. I'm not trying to, yeah, you're kind of in an odd position.
Yeah.
In the down line because you're on your up lines. Inside leg, kind of in the middle of no man's land. So, Bridget, your weak and strong legs are going to be exactly what you make them. Yeah. She's not adding anybody underneath you at this point. But I could go in there, I believe, and specifically pick to start trickling more PV up under you, or if I couldn't get right directly under you, up under one of your down lines.
On one of your legs, we could put someone there.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha. So that, so it's only a benefit if it's someone that's kind of, far down or kind of hidden, right?
I mean, it will benefit anyone you put underneath them because they're going to get that volume that trickles up. So, I mean, you could help someone out more who's kind of out there further if they're having to build their own business where they don't have a big, long, strong leg that trickles way down.
But it still helps everybody above that.
Yeah, so
too.
Anywhere you put it's going to help that person.
So like, let me just give you an example too. And then, so maybe this can make more sense. Like on my right leg, I have Rachel, right? Who's really strong. And then it's kind of discount coaches.
Yep.
And so then now I've built the left to be stronger because I could never catch up with Rachel, right?
Yeah.
And now the left is stronger. So then I'm going to start to add back on the right for Rachel. But would it help me to just put them at the bottom of the right side if there's maybe 10 people in line, or would it go right under Rachel? Like, does it matter? Would it matter if they went way at the bottom because it's still going up to Rachel, or would it help her if it was right underneath her more?
No, it would help her the same.
Yeah.
The same. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. Okay.
That's a good question. It would help her the same.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then you could also go in here and search for a specific person. So if you don't want to sit there and try and click down line by line, you can type in someone's name.
Search for Rachel.
So if you want to search for Rachel, you can just type it in and it'll take her.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you could search by people.
Yep, so it'll take you right to where their placement is, and then you can see. So if I wanted to put someone here, I could.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or if you wanted to, you could.
Other questions on legs, strategies, placing people, building your legs? There's a chart I'll post to guys this week that shows it's got a breakdown of PV and cycle bonuses, and I can't really even describe it, but it's helpful. It's helpful if you're a numbers person. Some of you guys have seen it before, but Other questions? No. Okay.
Should I stop sharing?
Yeah. If something pops up that you're thinking about with as far as PV or commission, just holler. So we're going to talk a little bit about just tracking expenses and taxes and whatnot, because this is something that we've been really working to get better at ourselves. And we are not tax professionals.
So anything we say, always consult your tax professional before actually doing it. How many of you actually use an accountant or tax CPA to do your business taxes?
All right.
Okay. How many of them just do it on your own? TurboTax, something else? So there's a couple of things we really gotta take into it. Make sure that you're tracking everything, so when it comes to tax purposes, you can, have it very itemized. But also when it comes to being taxed by the government, you want to make sure that you're getting your deductions and getting a refund versus having to pay in. So, because they're not taking any taxes out when you earn your money, so you have to account for that. So various, I think, professionals will say anywhere from like 25 to 33% you should be saving. And one of the best ways to go about that is set up a separate banking account for your business. Whether it's a hobby or a business, it's better to have it separate from your normal finances for tracking purposes. For tax purposes, it's just better to have it separate so you can have a specific card you're using, whether you use a credit card or have a totally separate checking account. Separate your business expenses from your normal ones. It will make things a lot cleaner and a lot smoother for tracking, and just so you know how much money is going in and coming out too.
And to save that 25 to 35% that they're not taking out in taxes. It's easier if it's not mixed into your regular income, we have found.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier than
trying to track it all at the end of the year.
Yeah. And as part of that, you want to consider that right off the top, when it's tax season, the government's going to take, I think, about 15.3%, and that's for Social Security and Medicare, I think, will come out. So that's right there. That's a certain amount you're going to get taken out. So if you can figure out expenses and other deductions to compensate that, so you're not paying in, that's a good thing. So the more deductions that you can claim, you have a better chance of not having to pay in, or you can get a lot more money back. So that's another reason you want to track everything, so you can track all your expenses, so you can actually deduct them and get money from the government rather than paying the government money.
Save your receipts along with tracking.
Yes. So there's a lot of various ways you can track. There's programs like Quicken, you can download or buy the software for, and it can hook up directly to your bank accounts. You could use mint.com, and that's a way to hook it up, and they have different tracking systems. And I'm sure there's lots of other things out there too. There's apps like Expensify, which I think might also have a web version, and you can also take pictures of receipts with that app, I believe, and it might do some fancy charts too. So there's a lot of different ways you can track it, or you can just use pen and paper if that's what you prefer. And try and keep your receipts organized too. We're not the best at doing that,
Nope.
So we're always trying to scramble to find out what we haven't claimed yet. So stay organized. That's always helpful.
And it'd be helpful to start work, those of you, especially if your earnings are, some people are brand new in the business and you're not earning a whole lot right now. And so it's probably not a super worrisome consideration, but some people are making some bank in here, and I would consider getting a CPA who's well-versed in MLMs and home-based businesses, direct sales, so that they can guide you from the very beginning as far as what your budget should look like and what kinds of things you can claim and how much money you should be setting aside. They can help you with that stuff. Yeah.
Question, do you get a 1099 from Beachbody then?
Yeah. What do you get?
It's a 1099 miscellaneous, and you only get that if you earn $600 or more.
Okay.
And
then are there just some things you guys would recommend as far as write-offs, just ideas? I mean, is it the standard cell phone, internet? I know you do a percent, or my lady does a percentage of my husband's business that way. But yeah. Is there kind of a list that you guys have that you recommend for keeping track of for write-offs?
Yeah, and see if Nicole or Alyssa want to contribute at all. And these are just suggestions. Your
Oh.
CPA would have other things to say. Internet and phone, at least a portion of them.
Mm-hmm.
Beachbody programs. Okay. That's an investment in your training and your advertising. Any sort of thing that you use for like an auto scheduler program, you know, like Hootsuite or Buffer or like Zoom that we're using right now, any sort of like business software that you're using. Tell me others. We have a list. We should know all this.
Yes, I mean, there's like all your products are like your Shakeology HD because you need that to qualify for Success Club and other things. So you could write that off. Your coaches fees, your club membership fees, pretty much anything that you're paying Beachbody, you should be able to write off one way or another, in my opinion. But always talk to a professional.
Travel. So those of you who are going to Summit, okay, anything Summit related, anything that you purchase in the airport, your flight, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Track it all. Food while you're there. That's a business conference. So any sort of travel related to Beachbody, if you take a potential coach out to lunch, shipping for Shakeology samples, the Shakeology samples that you buy, that kind of stuff.
Even if you're driving to Summit, mileage, you could either get specific mileage reimbursement or there's a standard rate you could use. If you're having a meeting with someone, mileage.
I was going to say, a lot of it's done online, but if you do travel, like for instance, you know, you're on vacation, you happen to talk to somebody and get somebody signed up.
Yeah.
Can you write off the mileage? I mean, how is that?
There's specific IRS codes about business and entertainment. So like if we're going up to visit family, but also have a Beachbody meeting while we're there, we could claim that mileage. But if we then went out to dinner with someone else, then we can't claim that dinner. There's kind of some overlap, but some no.
But mileage would be legit. Okay.
So yeah, driving to meetings, any meetings you have, other like if you're advertising on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook ads.
Any sort of advertising and promotions you can do.
Yep.
Gifts, the IRS rule about gifts is $25. So if it's over $25, you might want to consider it something else like a promotion or call it something else. But for IRS purposes, gifts can only be $25.
Wear and share. That's advertising, you know, your Shakeology t-shirt or whatnot. What else am I forgetting about, guys? Nicole, anything else you want to add to that? Not as a tax professional. Or Alyssa, not as a tax professional, but just.
I hit on most of them. I didn't know about the gifts part, $25. But I put like, you know, PIO certification.
Yep.
Certifications. Meals are usually only 50%.
But yeah, any sort of like, that's a good, any sort of education that you're, you know, taking towards being a coach. So yeah, like a fitness.
Even like your Audible subscription.
My Audible subscription, yeah.
Any exercise equipment or clothes, if you're posting videos of yourself on Facebook, you could claim that, you know.
I did my pictures.
Yeah.
Advertising.
Business pictures. Business cards, you know, obviously.
Do you guys write off like a portion of your home, like as your home office?
We do not.
We do not have a specific home office space, so we've avoided that because that can get tricky.
I mean, this couch is my home office.
My husband did our taxes this year, and he actually did that because there was a part that he could go in and measure, like what part of the space of the room that I use. I don't know how it works, but I think it kind of, at least on the TurboTax for business part, it kind of walked you through what you needed to do. So I think you can claim like certain, you know, square footage of if it's a room that you're using, like depending on where it is, I guess, in your.
For sure.
And I think if that's the case, I think then you could also take some of your mortgage, a certain percent of your mortgage then too.
And I think like the heat and yes, there was a few other things that fell into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a standard. I did the TurboTax one. There's like a standard deduction, or you can itemize a deduction. I think I just standard, but I don't know if I qualified for that part of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean,
That's certifications. Parts of vehicles, supposedly. There's been people who've gotten.
if you do a lot of work out of your car.
Yep, like if you're an instructor, you could use, if you have to drive to your gym to instruct, then you might get a certain percentage, but that would definitely be something you want to work out with your tax professional for sure.
Yeah. But bottom line is track your expenses, separate as much as possible, save, set things aside in case you do have to pay in for taxes, and just anything that could potentially be a deduction, at least save the receipt and write it down. Track it, you know?
Business retreats are a good one.
Business retreat.
Yeah, say that.
Yes.
I have I've had for a while a separate checking account and a separate credit card, but then I did that with my Naturally to LLC. But even though I wasn't the best at tracking, I'm working on it this year. It was so helpful because everything was already in my credit. Like everything, I only use that credit card and that checking account for everything. And that just made it so much easier, even though now I'm putting it into QuickBooks. But before I had to, like right before tax time, put everything into a Excel spreadsheet based upon TurboTax's guidelines and what fit into each category. And that was just a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do it now. Get a new account Monday.
Get a new account tomorrow. Yep.
Do you guys know if there's a spot in the back office where you can go, I feel like I should know this, but where you can go and just download your receipts from Beachbody for the year? Like all of my orders of Shakeology or programs or whatever. Is there like...
If you go under my business, there's my orders. You can do my orders and customer orders.
The old office one, right?
No, in the current one. But
personal orders.
Yep. Okay.
You should be able to adjust the date.
Export it too. Okay.
I think.
Yeah, you can do the dates for like a specific calendar year if you want. You have to edit the reports, but that won't have like your coach subscription or the club membership in there. I think one of those is missing from that. That you have to dig a little bit deeper to find, I feel like.
Club membership is not in here.
Yeah, I think that's the one that's not. I think the coach is, but the club is not.
But that's an easy one to.
Credit card, so it was so helpful because all of it showed up on my credit card statements. I was like, oh, I love you, credit card.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what were you saying about the Shakeology? You can write off the programs and the fees, but what about the Shakeology?
Well, Shakeology, if you have an HD, I mean, that's one of the requirements for Success Club.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's, a legitimate reason you have to do it if you want to meet Success Club.
It's a requirement to advertise. And
to advertise.
That was drinking around people.
Be a product of the product. You have to advertise.
Posting about it. You posted about it the other day, Kristen. Your son drinking it. So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. For sure. Track it. Any other questions related to the money stuff, guys? My favorite topic. Not really at all. It's really boring, but it's super important. The more organized you are with all this stuff and the more you take ownership of it and want to understand it, the better. It really will be to your advantage.
Side note, Jess, we're reading You Are a Badass.
Yeah.
Chapter where they talk about you need to have a positive relationship with money. And I've known this too, but it's a good focus. Like money is energy. You need to pay attention to it just like it's a relationship, just like you would pay attention to your spouse or pay attention to your friends or family. You need to pay attention to it. So getting that checking account is a way of paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Having a positive relationship with money. It's a way of building that vibe for energy to come to you too. And I've heard this in many different ways, but it clicked again reading You Are a Badass.
I love You Are a Badass.
I love it too.
It's a good one. Cool.
But pay attention to it.
Pay attention to it.
Like, I don't want to pay attention to it, and then tax time comes. And I'm like, damn, I should pay attention to it a little bit more.
Right. Same here. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to it, get to know it, get to understand that back office. That's my advice. Oh, there's a chat box. See if there's anything in the chat box.
Well, this is me.
You want a Superstar Diamond bonus? Oh yeah. We didn't get into that. Bridget, did we answer your matching bonus question? Okay. When you are superstar diamond bonus, I want a superstar diamond bonus too. When
But
you
you
are
get a two-star, right?
when you're a 2-star or above, you qualify for quarterly bonuses from the company.
Mhm.
Describe more.
They set aside 4 different, it's like a 0.5% profit pool. So when you reach 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, and 15-star is when you get each of these quarterly bonuses. So when you hit 2-star, you get 1 quarterly bonus, which is like a 0.5% of the business's profits overall, I believe. But to earn those, you have to attend Summit and then the leadership conference too. So you have to go to 2 conferences in the year to be eligible for those, as well as being 2-star diamond. And from what we've been told, they're close to $1,000 each quarter, roughly.
The 2-star one's $1,000 around, but I mean the superstar one is freaking insane.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's a lot of money.
Mhm.
But that's another way is when you get higher up in the company, yeah, you're eligible for sharing profit shares. And that's our
Mhm.
daughter screaming, so we should go in a minute. But, so I don't hear her. I feel so bad. Any other questions, guys? Was it helpful? Was it confusing? A little bit. Okay. A little bit. If you think of anything, write it on the Team on the Run page. Anything else you can think of?
I'm good now.
Okay.
And there's always YouTube, and then there's some videos in the back office about legs and volume too, because I know that can be confusing, and there's lots of different thoughts out there on those things too.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome. It was nice to see some of you.
Great info. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a good night, and I'll post the recording.
Thank you.
guys.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I'm going to go check on Scarlett.